Hey y'all, so I was about to make some supper and got to thinking I haven't posted a video in a while, so I'm about to just film me cooking the supper. If you don't like this, you can totally skip it. I'll post an outdoor video soon, but tonight I'm gonna try and make some chicken curry. I'm sure it'll look exactly like that when I'm finished, but we'll see. So if you want to just tag along, watch me cook this stuff. Hopefully it's successful and I don't post a video where it failed, but stay with me. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is get some spices. So you got salt, cumin, curry, coriander, turmeric, and paprika. So grab every spice you have that starts with a C basically, and then turmeric and paprika. And then you're also gonna put about 2 tablespoons of olive oil into a little bowl. Has to be this exact brand bowl. No, I'm just playing. Then you're gonna need some garlic, about a tablespoon, and this kind of cloudy stuff is ginger. I just get like the bottle or like little squirt bottle ginger from like Publix or somewhere like that. I forgot to tell you this pairs very nicely with a 2017 non-alcoholic Welch's grape juice white. Enjoy, you guys. All right, next step is get some chicken going on the stove so we can kind of basically get it browned up, and then we're gonna slice it into little cubes. I have a sub who's kind of like me that really likes watching people like cut vegetables and stuff. So we're about to cut up probably about half of this onion and we'll put it into the frying pan. So you just kind of want to cut it up, not super fine, but you don't want to leave it in big chunks because you want the flavor to get out, and you don't want to have to bite into a piece of onion and that basically be all that you taste. Alright, so I'm going to put all these onions, now that they're chopped, into this right here because we're about to get out some of this chicken. Alright, so I just put the onions in this bowl so that I can cut the chicken on here. Alright, so we're going to chop this chicken into just little chunks. Turn that off for a second. It doesn't have to be fully cooked for you to chop it up like this. I just like cooking a little bit because I don't like raw chicken getting everywhere. Alright, now that that's done, we're going to take all this chicken, put it back in our pan, put the juices in there. We're also going to put in all of our onion, or as much that will fall out, and I'll get the rest in a minute. And then you just kind of want to let that simmer up, soften up the onions, and basically finish cooking the chicken. You can see it's not fully cooked yet. So while we're waiting on that chicken to cook, we're going to do our spices. So it says 1 teaspoon of paprika, and I'm not like super specific on my measurements, but basically a teaspoon. Alright. 1 teaspoon of turmeric. If you've ever had this stuff, it smells pretty stout, but it tastes really good. It's super yellow. So we need a teaspoon of that. We need a teaspoon of coriander, a chunk. Whoa. Man, that stuff doesn't come out very easy. Teaspoon of coriander. Half a teaspoon of cumin. Take it kind of easy on cumin. I'm not the biggest fan of cumin. It's alright. And then what's really weird is this recipe doesn't even call for curry. I don't know why, but I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of it in there. I love curry. Super, super flavorful. Okay. And then last but not least, just some salt. I'm gonna do about half a teaspoon because I'm not sure how salty all the rest of this stuff is, so I don't want to put a buttload. All right, so there's all of our spices. It's really pretty. We're gonna check on the chicken, kind of keep it moving so it doesn't get too brown. It's about time for us to add some of the liquid ingredients. So for the liquid ingredients, you're gonna need about 1.5 cups of chicken broth, and you're gonna need some heavy whipping cream. So we'll pour this 1.5 cups. This is only a cup, so I'll go ahead and add it to the chicken. Oh. So we're gonna add that to the chicken. I turned the heat down because it's getting kind of hot. It's starting to brown too much. I'm gonna turn that puppy back up. Get this stuff cooking. So we still need about 1/2 cup of this. It seems like a lot. We'll see how that works out. And then it calls for 1/2 cup of heavy whipping cream. Man, I hope this is 1/2 cup. Still have a little bit left. Cool. So I'm going to wait and add this till a little bit later. We want to let this kind of get married in. I am also going to add our garlic and ginger mixture just so that the chicken can start absorbing all these flavors. Then we'll add that whipping cream. I don't like adding dairy stuff to things when I cook it until kind of later on. Alright, so we're going to chop some of this cilantro. That stuff smells so good. Like incredible. So we're going to chop up some of the cilantro. We'll put this in the mixture later. I don't want to put it in there yet because it'll kind of like get soggy and stuff. But you just want to not make it super fine, but you also don't want to be like grazing on this stuff like a cow. Like just kind of get it minced up a little bit. Because you do want the flavor. Like it's not a big deal if you get a little bit of a chunk. You just don't want to be like in a salad of cilantro. That'll do. Okay, so I just put some up. I just decided I'm gonna cut this a little bit finer because it will mix in a little bit better. And like I said earlier, I'm kind of just bringing you guys along. I'm not an expert chef or anything, so hopefully this turns out pretty good. I haven't tried this exact recipe before. We'll see. Alright you guys, this chicken's been simmering a good probably 7 minutes. I'm gonna go ahead and add some of the dairy. So this is the heavy whipping cream. This is gonna thicken up a lot. And then this right here is the 0% Greek yogurt. So this really thickens it up a pretty good amount. This is kind of the tricky part. You can do this to taste. Depending on how thick you want it, put more of this stuff. Alright, so now we're going to add our seasoning. Then you just want to stir this up. Cut it down a little bit. Put it down to about, low heat, depending on if you're on a gas or electric. I'm not sure, but turn down the heat a little bit and just stir it. Kind of get all this stuff married together. You can see it's starting to have the color of curry. And you just want to bring it down and let it kind of sit and just Let everything get mixed together for probably about 5 minutes. So when you guys hear me again, it's been about 3 to 5 minutes, and then we'll add some cilantro. While that's cooking, I'm going to grab some rice. You can use like basmati rice or whatever kind of rice you want. Basmati is probably the most suggested just because of texture, but I'm just gonna put some water in this, pop it in the microwave, and basically you just need some white rice. Got our rice going. This right here is starting to look a lot more like curry. Let's add just a little bit, probably about 75% of your cilantro, because you want to use some of it for garnish to make it look good. But you're gonna add about, this is another thing that's kind of the taste. I love cilantro, so it's pretty good for me. Then you just want to stir that in. While this stuff's kind of still heating up, I'll introduce you to two of my little friends. This is Obi, as in Obi-Wan Kenobi. And this is Macy, as in Macy the dog name. Y'all have to ignore the dogs in the background. Also, I'm gonna cut one of these limes just to get some citrus, and we will squirt this into our mixture. Then just stir that in. All right, my friends, it's almost time for the moment of truth. I got a bed of rice. We're gonna get some of our curry. Just kind of lay it on top here. We'll get some more of these juices. It's kind of hard to see with this camera right in front of my face. Just a little bit more. All right. Then you want to garnish it with just a little bit of cilantro. And boom, done. All right, so let's give this a taste. Let's see. I'm going to give you an honest answer. That is super good. With 10 being like, you could make friends making this, and 3 being like, you would not make this for somebody if they came over because you'd be nervous they thought you were a horrible cook or something. It really is probably like a 7 or an 8. This is super good. That was the perfect amount of Greek yogurt and all those spices. When I added that curry in there, I've never done it though with the paprika and cumin and all that, and it made an enormous difference. So I appreciate all you guys for watching. I know this video is a little bit more hectic, kind of longer, but it was impromptu. I was gonna make this anyway. It was just like, why not film it? So I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Oh, hey, I forgot to say, it could use a little bit of salt. It needs a little bit more salt. So when you make this, I'm kind of telling you at the end of the video, so I guess it doesn't do a whole lot of good, but use about a tablespoon of salt, not half a teaspoon. All right, see you guys.